beyond my wildest dreams. Maybe that foot could have carried me to streets of gold. Things aren't always as they seem. Looking back on all the chances that I missed, some I held, some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist, I wondered what would change, I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known, that would have kept me from the one I had today. Except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known, would have kept me from what I had today.
Good morning, it's Labor Day, and yeah, we're working. Why aren't you? This is 1100 WSGI. I'm U-Turn LaVern, and this is one street over. And oh my goodness, I reached out to my buddy Kaleb Stratton, our let's see if I can get it right. Our Wildlife Resources Regional Sergeant.
Close enough.
What
District Sergeant.
I thought you were regional.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I was thinking it was
our region
regional.
is split into two districts, so.
Oh, okay. Well, good enough. And but our district sergeant. So there you go. And it's so funny because whenever I was on one of my little excursions, I've been out
everywhere. Yeah.
It's been a weird month. This past month, it just I had a teaching conference I had to go to up in Knoxville, and it's a mandatory thing. If you're a career teacher, if you're what they call a CTE teacher, the state mandates that they teach you to teach. and you have to do what they call all these acronyms of teaching. You have to do an EPP program, which is an educational preparedness thing, right? Mm-hmm. So you got to do that, but then you also have to go to the state thing. So you have to do it within a year of getting, your teaching licensure done. It's a lot. But anyway, we got it done, and my husband's teaching too, so we were off. And
where's he at now?
He's teaching at Springfield High School.
Well, I saw him doing the traffic the other day. I was like, what's he doing here?
Justice. Well, they needed somebody to do crossing guard, and they're like, oh, you can do that too? And he's like, yeah.
Yeah, I've done that before.
He drove the cheer squad to the game 2 hours away the other night. Yeah.
So he does a little bit of everything, doesn't he? I've seen him do everything. Driving buses and everything.
Ace Hardware working yesterday.
Yeah, Ace Hardware, driving buses, traffic.
He will not give up. Because, truly, I'm like, please give up. I love the people at Ace Hardware, but I don't like his Sundays being.
Right.
He does it twice a month, and he just does it for the discount. Because trust me, he spends way more than he makes. So I've been like, that's kind of not, it messes our schedule up. And he's like, he really enjoys working at Ace Hardware. So, yeah, you do a lot of stuff too. I just thought it would be, and Lee Marie, I called him and I said, so, hey, I'm going to be out of town, but, Lee Marie's going to be in, you come in and do the show with her. And
I was going to.
And she gave me the day off, he said. Well, that's okay, because this is good timing, really, since you had to work today anyway.
Yeah.
The official end of summer. Congratulations.
Yeah, today, yep.
Congratulations. Are you going to have to be out on the boats, though, today? I'm assuming it's a big boat day.
Well,
it's going to be hot.
It's the last official, boating. People will still be out, obviously. There's no law that says you can't boat after today. I wish there was. But
can't wear white after Labor Day, no boating.
But this is just the official, unofficial end to boating season. Memorial Day to Labor Day. So,
Right.
I'm going to go hang out on the Red River for a little while today. A few of us are going to go out there and sit on the banks and talk to people. We were out there this weekend, and not a lot of people were out, really.
Okay.
Comparatively, there just wasn't a lot, so.
Well, and I've been kind of surprised. I've been out and about doing some things, and the people just have not been out. I'm like, where are the people? I figure people would be out,
well, just
in Labor Day.
A big weekend, too, with it just being, opening weekend of college football and a lot of stuff, lots of people were in Nashville for the UT game, I think. You had 60-something thousand people there. And
see, I don't know these things. I don't know sports.
Yeah, honestly, I think that really does have a lot to do with it because everybody wanted to sit in and watch the game. It's hard to watch a game when you're floating down the river. So
that's true. So I was at the store and it was deserted, and I was like, this is Labor Day weekend. Where are all the people?
Watching football.
That's what was up. So, okay. So the big thing is, though, and this is a good chance for us, and if you're trying to message me on social media, this old computer will not connect, and I'm going to figure something out. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Today it's not. So Caleb's going to keep an eye on it. If you have some questions for him, he'll chime in with us if we have any input. But and two, I'll tell you, we're going to talk about Midsummer Night's Dream. Danny Atchley's coming in. We're going to give away some tickets, and if you want those, you're going to need to respond in comments, and I'll have to reach out to you later today with who's going to get those tickets, or you can private message me if you want some tickets to Midsummer Night's Dream. Danny's going to be coming in, so if you want those tickets, be ready for that. So, hunting season, when does it start?
It already started.
Okay, so you've had the velvet hunt.
Right, we did have the velvet hunt, and that was, I have no idea why anybody in their right mind would want to go out there because it was 90-something, it was 100-something degree, heat index.
Did they harvest any? Did you?
There was a few, yeah.
Okay.
We had probably half a dozen in the county, I'd say.
Okay.
I didn't look at the final number, but there wasn't many, a few.
So what's next?
So dove season opened on Friday.
Okay.
So that's that'll be the biggest. Honestly, today that's what most of your people are going to be doing instead of boating. Is I say that, but a lot of people will dove hunt today because that's just a a traditional thing where.
Well, and that's where you do it in the fields, right?
Right. Yeah. So and it's kind of odd because in the years past normally we'd have a lot of corn cut.
Yeah.
But there's nobody cutting corn yet. So the doves we don't have as many birds as we used to as far as that goes because there's no food source here for them. So
I know that the way the harvest runs and stuff, a lot of that we change what we're raising. I know my brother switched over to a different type of corn and it harvested a different time. So with that said, will Tennessee, if that's becoming a trend in farming, will Tennessee consider pushing back their dove hunt?
I had the same question. And so the doves are a federally protected bird. Oh. They're migratory. So any type of migratory bird is handled by the feds. Oh. So the federal U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, they say, hey, dove season is going to start September 1st at noon, and it's going to be 90 days.
Okay.
And you get to pick, but it has to start September 1st at noon. So we have to go off those federal guidelines. So until the feds do it, we can't do anything with it.
So is it open for 90 days, or do you do a set?
We do. So there's 3 different, and I can't tell you the exact dates, but the first run will be September. Pretty much the whole month of September.
Okay.
And then we have another one in October and one in December.
Okay. Well, then by that time, you're going to have the fields will be picked. And
all yeah. But by that, October, December, that's prime deer season. I've only in my career, I've only checked a handful of people dove hunting in December.
Okay.
And, I thought they were deer hunting. I'm like, what are these idiots doing out here, And I walk out there, I'm like, what are y'all doing? They're like, we're dove hunting. I was like, oh, yeah, of course you are. Like, looking around like, is it dove season?
Oh, that's funny.
Because you don't ever think of, seeing people dove hunting in December. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. So when does deer season officially start?
So it's normally the 3rd weekend of September. So
we're getting close.
It'll be the 23rd actually.
We're getting close. It'll
be the week of the fair. So the fair is the 19th through the 23rd, and then the 23rd will be opening day of bow season. And once it opens, it's open until middle of January. So
wow. Well, and I'm assuming my children will harvest, or my husband will on my property. They always say they're going to harvest deer, and they never do. And I saw a bunch of turkeys. I saw a bunch of turkeys in my yard the other day.
Good.
And had some video. Just a bunch of them. And so
we'll have
that's
the fall
good.
turkey season coming up in October, I think.
But I can only harvest one correct?
Correct. Yep.
So I could harvest one. My husband could harvest one.
Oh yeah, everybody in the family could go out there and
Everybody in my
harvest one, yeah.
family could go out and harvest a bird.
Yep.
But do they have to? They have to harvest what? Do we have what kind of bird do we have?
Oh, I was like, what do you mean?
Well, like
So yeah, it's got to be one. It's
because it's like, can you shoot the
my cousin
hens
Brian
now?
Raines is watching. Hi, Brian. He works at the sheriff's office. And Lauren Trainey said good morning.
Hey, Paul. Of course, Paul's up.
So, but yeah, it's one bearded turkey. So a lot of people think it has to be a male, but that's not the case. It has to be bearded, meaning that it just has to have a beard. So some of the female turkeys have beards.
I think that's so weird. I mean, why would that be the stipulation, though? Is it unusual for the hens to have a beard?
It is.
That way, only a few of them.
It is, and that's one of the main identifying characteristics of a male turkey is a beard. So it's just, it would be hard to, if you didn't say that and you accidentally killed a hen that had a beard, it's, it would be illegal, but it really was an accident. So
Okay.
So we just do that.
Here's my thing. How can you tell from that far away? Because my vision is not that awesome.
So with turkey hunting, I mean, you got to get them close.
Yeah.
So we're talking, within 90 feet, within 30 yards normally.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, it's not 30 feet. Yeah, 30 yards, so 90 feet.
Well,
it's pretty close.
They were super close to me the other day, and I wasn't really paying attention to what I had in the yard. But the minute that because they were in my front yard, and I barely cracked the door, and boy, they hear. They can hear anything, it seems like. And I mean, you just barely walk across the porch, and they're like, and then they're off. So those little things, man. But I think that they're nesting. They've definitely got a nest up in the woods right there in our woods. So I feel like we can probably find them, because you've got me really wanting to have a wild turkey.
Oh, yeah, they're amazing.
So, and tell me the date again that I can turkey hunt.
Oh, look, I just had it pulled up.
Because I would love to harvest a couple of turkeys.
So actually, I failed to mention this. So when it's archery only for deer,
yeah,
you can incidentally harvest a turkey. So if you're deer hunting with archery, when it's archery only, so pretty much September through when muzzleloader opens in November, if you're deer hunting and a turkey walks up, a bearded turkey, you can harvest it.
Really?
So, but that would still count as your one
bird for the fall.
Your one bird, yeah.
Interesting. Okay, but the official turkey season
is going to be October 14th through the 27th.
See, that's perfect to get ready for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so you're right at a month out, yeah. Which is no problem at all. I freeze them all the time.
So
just as good.
do you just completely prep them and then so they're ready to go in the oven after when you get them completely prepped and throw them in the freezer?
Yeah, it just depends on what you want to do. Like I breast mine out. Like I just take the two breasts off each side, so I don't take the whole turkey out like what you're going to see in the store.
Okay.
That's just me personally. What I do, it's just easier. So I've got two. They're
turkey breasts.
They're pretty good hunks of meat. I mean, they're depending on the size of the turkey too.
Okay.
So. But yeah, they're two big old hunks of meat, and you can cut them up and do whatever you want.
Okay. So you won't have your traditional looking bird to put on the table.
Well, you can.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you want to do all that, it's just a lot of work.
Yeah.
Because you got you're plucking it and doing everything and.
Yeah. So you do it
cleaning it. Yeah, the easy way is just to peel the feathers back and peel the skin back and slice off the two breasts on either side and go on.
So is the rest of the meat not as good, or is it just not enough to it to make it worth your time?
Yeah, it's just, I like a better term, just lazy. I mean, it's so much easier just to do that and take the breast meat and be gone. I mean, yeah, there's not a ton. I mean, after that, there's hardly any meat left on the things anyway. So. Yeah. You see people eating turkey legs and stuff, but I'm telling you, those wild turkeys, there's not much to it. There's nothing there, and it would be really super tough anyway.
Well, and I don't know if the turkey legs and stuff, they're so full of bones.
Yeah, that's just...
Yeah. They're not one of my favorite things. Interesting. So turkey season coming up. We've already had our velvet hunt. Dove season started. And
just to clarify, too, like we talked about, it's the fall season, even with archery, is one per county. So you could kill probably upwards of 80-something turkeys in the state if you wanted to,
Oh, really?
There's a few counties that I'm not going to list all of them. There's probably 7 or 8 counties that are closed to the fall turkey season just due to their population numbers. And still trying to figure out what's going on there. They're still doing a study right now. The University of Tennessee is still doing a turkey study with us. So
okay, so I could go into
you could Cheatham, Robertson, Sumner, Davidson.
Okay.
You could
okay.
If you went to Cheatham, Davidson, Robertson, Sumner, 4 counties, you can kill 4 turkeys.
Okay. I don't seem. I know.
You just got to have.
I can't even get people to hunt. I can't get my family to come hunt in the yard.
Yeah.
Because they're all so busy. I'm talking with Kaleb Stratton. He is our district sergeant for wildlife resources, and we appreciate him coming in on Labor Day. We appreciate you being with us as well. And we're going to pause and talk for just a moment about my friends over at Cumberland Connect. Love those folks, and it's just so nice because having high-speed internet whenever you've had nothing, you really appreciate it to this day. I mean, we've had a little bit of time off this weekend, so we actually tried to, watch. We would sit down to watch something on television, which we don't do a whole lot, and it streams perfectly. None of that pausing and the little spiral thing going on. That is so nice. And when my computer works, I can actually work with my Dropbox and all those things at home. It is so wonderful to be able to do my work at home. And that's a big thing. So many people are working from home, and being able to do that, you need high-speed internet. It is just, I think that my kids actually, when they were looking to, before they moved back to the ones that have all the grandbabies, had we been able to get high-speed internet up here, I think they would have considered moving in here. But this is several years ago, and it was just one of those things. We didn't yet have it, and he has to have high-speed internet to be able to do his work. But we've got it now, and thanks to Cumberland Connect, if you're a Cumberland Electric customer, you're going to have access. And if you need to, if you're having some financial difficulties, they've got an affordable connectivity program that provides qualifying households with monthly credit to help pay for internet services. And if you're eligible, you could receive a credit of up to $30 per month toward broadband services. They've got packages that start just $30 per month. You may want to join the gig club like me. For just $80, you can have an entire gig. You're on Cumberland Connect, aren't you? Are you on Cumberland Connect?
They've run it. I'm just waiting on them to tell me to do it. I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
So you're going to be I think you'll probably be a member of the gig club too, don't you think?
Well, I'd say so, yeah.
$80 a month. You can't beat it. If you want to know when they're going to be knocking on your door, call 1-800-987-2362, 1-800-987-2362, or go and check them out at cumberlandconnect.org, cumberlandconnect.org. Put in your zip code, super simple, and they'll tell you when you're going to have high-speed internet like the rest of us. And you can join the gig club too. And when you talk to them, always let them know that you turn sent you. Talking with Kaleb Stratton, he is our Wildlife Resource District Sergeant. Got it. What else we got going on, my friend?
Talking about the high-speed internet. So Cumberland Connect, CMC actually sent a text message out. I don't know if you got it the other day, or if you noticed it. It was a link, and maybe they just sent it to me because they knew it was me. But no, I know they didn't because somebody's been texting it to me. But they sent out a thing with hunting season and harvest season coming around with crops and everything. They sent out a really nice, just a info text talking about, not shooting, trying not to shoot power lines. And especially with these fiber optic lines now, a shotgun can do a lot of damage to one of those lines. So
you better believe it.
It's not illegal to shoot a dove that's sitting on a fence post or sitting on a power line per se. It's not illegal to shoot the dove, but it is illegal to damage property. Mm-hmm. So when you shoot a dove that's sitting on a power line, number one, we'd call it's not fair chase. So we don't think it's very ethical because that's not giving the bird a fair chance. So obviously shooting something that's flying is a lot harder than shooting something that's still. But when you shoot at a power line, not necessarily the power lines would break, I'd say, but those fiber optic lines, I'd say, would break pretty easy.
That's a really good point. Oh my gosh!
But and it wasn't just hunting; they were talking about farmers and crops and bush hogging and hitting power lines and poles and just telling everybody to be careful. So I will reiterate that about the telephone poles and lines. Just don't shoot at birds sitting on lines.
Oh, that's
because you are if they find it, if we find out it's you or whoever finds out it was you, then you are responsible for any damage that you cause to the property. So
very good. That's a very good point. Okay. What else you got? So
Paul was asking how is dove season going. So it's been really slow, like I was talking about the corn. Mm-hmm. And as you said, I talked to one of the large farmers around here, and I asked him, I was like, man, every year corn, it's later and later and later. And that's what he said. He said they're growing or they're modifying corn now to grow longer to produce a higher yield. But in order to do that, they can't plant it any earlier because of the weather, but they can let it grow longer.
Yep.
So that's what they're doing. So
and they're doing different varieties. I forget exactly what my brother grows, but it is not what my dad grew.
Yeah, and
it's got a higher value at market,
right.
And so because you've got the super farms that are in there, when you're a smaller farmer, you got to come up with ways to compete, and that's how he's done it. Our family's always been real good about diversifying what they do. And it's like, okay, let's do this, and but he's growing a different type of corn, and I don't know when he'll start picking corn, but
I mean, you've noticed probably just as well as I have. It's really turned a lot the last week. So
it's drying
but
out.
We were talking to the experiment farm, and they said they would probably start cutting theirs around September 15th. So still a couple weeks away.
Yeah, and it should be a good year because we had some rain. For
Tons
those
of rain,
that didn't get, well, for those that didn't get, we had poor Mayfield, Kentucky, Graves County. They had the tornado a couple of years ago, terrible flooding. Also, this year, and so they lost some crops, and so they've had a double hit. But because that stuff goes underwater and stays underwater too long, it is not going to make. And
Mr. Trent Cobb says hi.
Oh, hey Trent, how you doing? We're going to be talking fair stuff real soon because I'm so excited.
Oh yeah, it's coming up. Yeah,
it's coming up in a couple of weeks, and it's going to be later in September. It's on the 19th. We get going, and we'll just keep talking all that up. They had the big tractor pull this past weekend.
I was there, went over there. Yep, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Really, kudos to, and I think I saw on the fair board they really stressed like, hey, this isn't our event, so if you want to complain to them.
That's funny.
But they have a great venue down there now, obviously, and just that was a great event. It really was.
Did the rain not run anybody off? Because we had some rain that ran. Well, that was Friday night.
That was
football.
Yeah.
My days are running together.
Yeah, that was Friday night, wasn't it?
We had
rain come out of nowhere.
I went to the soccer game up at Springfield to see my Bobcat girls play soccer. I've got a couple of them in my class, and then had planned on going to the football game, and I was actually going to get some drone footage, and was headed out the door with the drone. Yeah, started pouring. And I kept watching it. And I never could. I was afraid to put it up in the air and stuff. Too, so I didn't get to the football game, but. Because I just don't know how much it affected it because I just was afraid to bring the drone out. But, anyway, so
we'll be at
all stuff going on.
We'll be at the fair. We'll have our wildlife trailer set up out there.
Oh, good.
So and maybe wildlife trailer and maybe something else, a night or two. So,
what kind of stuff can people expect when they go in the wildlife trailer? What is it all about?
It just shows you local wildlife. It's all stuff. They were. They were obviously alive at one time, and they've either been seized animals or road killed animals that we've mounted, and just so people can see stuff. That's real and.
Well, you'll have a bobcat in there.
There's a bobcat in there. And we got all the.
The only bobcats I've seen in the wild were some bobcat kittens that I saw of all places in the Kroger parking lot. Oh yeah, they were down in the ditch. Oh yeah, and they were. It was a bunch of bobcat little kittens, and and I tease you how I want one so bad. One of these days you're going to come knocking on my door, LaVern. You cannot keep a bobcat. You cannot.
You can buy one though.
Buy one, but you can't keep a wild one. But I've never seen them in the wild. I don't guess I spend enough time out in the woods to see a bobcat. Do you see them very often?
No, not often at all. They're very, I say reclusive. That's not the word, I guess, but they don't come out very often. Yeah, it's really. They're
nocturnal too, aren't they?
For the most part. I've seen obviously the only ones I've ever seen are during the day. So.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, I've seen them playing. I remember my first encounter. I may have told you, but I was deer hunting one day, and I looked up, and I'm like, "What is that?" And it was a bobcat. It jumped on a hay roll. And there was 4 other ones. They were smaller cubs, I guess. And I said they were playing King of the Mountain. One would get up there, and the other 4 would go knock it down. Another one would get up there, and they kept knocking each other off the hay roll, and the other ones would jump up there instead. So
no, you didn't tell me that.
It's pretty neat just watching them play like that.
Yeah, so, I would have loved to have seen that.
That was pretty cool. That was my first ever encounter seeing one.
Yeah, they're so cute. I love them. I think they're just fascinating.
But since then, I've had them sneak up on me while I was turkey hunting before. Sneaking up on my decoy, and then they get to the decoy, and then they look at you and look at the decoy, and they're like, both your eyes are really big. You're like, oh no.
Oh, how funny. But anything else we need to cover? I see Danny's in the house, so and I can't remember who he was bringing with him. But anyway, he'll tell me when to get in here. But
I've known Danny a long time. He was one of my scout leaders years ago in Boy Scouts.
Are you kidding? Yeah. That's fun.
Yeah, he had some nephews and stuff in there, and son, and so we were all in Boy Scouts together. I've known Danny since I was a little kid.
That is wonderful, but and now you're living your dream, dream job. But we're talking with Kaleb Stratton. He is our Wildlife Resources District Sergeant. And it's just fun just to kind of check in and just kind of see what's going on. Now, I've got you on the calendar in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I was going to tell you later. I probably have to I won't be in town that day. So.
Oh, well, there you go. I'm glad we got you
I'm glad
here
this
then.
worked out
I'm
today.
glad it worked out because we'll have Jess in from Sheriff's. And it's so funny. We had finally gotten Chief Head was going to come in that same day that you were coming in, and then I ended up having that out of town instruction I had to go to, and so we've got to get Chief Head back in here. But we had him all ready to come in, and because we've
finally ready.
Well,
to talk
and it's not anything on him. It's just that
he stays real busy. I know.
Yeah, and I'm one of these. Unless if you're a reoccurring guest, I'm always calling you like a day or two ahead, and because I'm running like a chicken with my head cut off all the time too. But anything else you need to cover before we visit again then, because you figure then, so we're going to be full in deer season in 3 weeks. So by the time you come back in October,
we'll be right in the middle
of had the fair. Season, we'll be, so you said, okay, so deer season officially opens 3rd week, but that's archery, right?
Yeah, so
when can you go out and just use a regular?
So muzzleloader always opens the first weekend of November.
Okay.
So it'll open November 4th, and then that'll run for 2 weeks, and then this is always a set date. So the Saturday before Thanksgiving is always when gun season opens to use a modern rifle. So that'll be November 18th.
Okay, so my husband Hal has a crossbow. Does that count as bow hunting?
It does, yeah. Okay. It used to not, but now
that seems like cheating.
Yeah, so back in the day, that was only for handicapped hunters.
Okay.
And people just complained so much about it because everybody has to complain. So then they complained enough to where the state said, well, okay, if a bow's a bow, like whatever, as long as it's an arrow with a blade on it, you can. Yeah. I don't care how you shoot it, just go out there and shoot it. So
okay, well and honestly, he hasn't learned to use it yet. The
kids I've got one too. I've never used one.
Yeah, well, the kids got it for him for Christmas, and he's just not had time to do anything with it. So well, maybe he'll get out and do some bow hunting then. So fun stuff. Thank you so much for coming. We've got a couple more minutes if you've got anything else you think you need to cover.
I'll say I think that's about it. Like I said, we just hopefully get today over soon and
be nice to the wildlife resource officers that are going to be out on the boats trying to get things done. So
and like I said, I do want to reiterate, this is a lot of our guys will still be out working. Like this isn't our cutoff day. This is just the official end, but I mean, we are still, all jokes aside, we are still on the water. I'll still be down at the river some, so.
Behave yourself.
Yeah, it's, we had a fatality last weekend.
Oh, man. Where at?
Caney Fort.
So. What happened?
Not really sure yet. Sounds like it was, so that water's cold. Mm-hmm. And, that's the weekend, it was 100 and something degree heat index and 100 something degrees on the outside. The water's 56 degrees, so. A gentleman fell in, and I don't know if that caused a medical emergency or what, but he drowned. So
yeah,
that's still waiting on the autopsy to come back on that one.
That's heartbreaking.
But yeah, it's just always something.
Yeah,
so, like I said, just be careful no matter what. And I don't even know if a life jacket. The guy wasn't wearing a life jacket, but just that temperature change. Going from 100 something degrees if you're hot and then getting in that water. I mean, like I said, I think it caused some type of medical emergency. So
okay. So was it an older person or?
Yeah, an older gentleman.
Yeah, so he could have had a heart attack, something like that.
Yeah, it could have been anything. So.
Well, I tell you, we appreciate you coming in and get ready for hunting season and fall and all the things that we love. And thank you for coming in on Labor Day. You behave yourself out there. Y'all. Be safe. Thank you so much. As we make the transition, I'll let Kaleb make his way out and Danny will make his way in. And while that all happens, we're going to talk about Veterans Motorplex. My friends up in Greenbrier, have you been to the races yet? You need to get to the races. It's so easy to do. All you have to do is show up on Saturday. Gates open at 4. Racing starts at 6. Y'all come on in and sit down. Make yourself comfortable. Racing starts at 6 o'clock and it'll go until about 9 o'clock, and it's always fun. Best way to stay up to date on everything going on at Veterans Motorplex is follow them on social media. Now, you'll find them at Highland Rim Speedway. They kept their social media presence because they had a lot of followers. Why would you change that? And you will find everything you need to know about Veterans Motorplex happening. If there's any kind of a rain delay, any kind of a weather thing that's going to affect them, they're going to let you know. But they're at 6801 Kelly Willis Road in Greenbrier. You can give them a call at 615-643-8725, 615-643-8725. I've been, telling you about this paper all summer long, and so I'm just going to keep on. But this newspaper was put out at the end of the summer by the Keenan Group, and the back page is worth $40 because with this back page, you can get up to 6 kids and 2 adults in for free. And this is good through October, through the entire racing season, through the 2023 racing season. So if you can still get your hands on some of these, that's your free ticket right there. But it's a great price, even if you don't get the free ticket, to get the whole family into the races for one set price. And then you get in, they got a great concession stand. You're going to find all your local favorites. Just a good time. If you've not been to the races, now is the time to go before the racing season ends. It ends at the end of October. Get out there on Saturdays. Gates open at 4. Racing starts at 6 and goes until about 9. You will have fun when you get out there. Always please let them know that U-Turn sent you, and thank them for being one of our sponsors here at One Street Over. Danny Atchley is in the house, and you're going to have I met you? I don't think so.
Bridget Dean, meet LaVern Vivio.
What is your name again?
Bridget Dean.
Bridget Dean. I was looking back at your text because I thought you said something about we will come, and I thought, well, did he say who? And so now, are you associated with the play, I'm assuming?
Yes, ma'am. I'm the director.
Oh, fun.
She's on the credits.
Okay.
Says it on the poster right
there. It is right there.
Yep.
I like the shirt. It's pretty.
Thank
it's
you.
a pretty one.
Goes
But
poster.
I know. Who did your artwork?
That was
They're just beautiful.
that was designed by Megan Smith, and she does has done a lot of the artwork for us over the past couple of plays. But just kind of a unique.
Yeah.
The colors and everything.
Really
and
beautiful.
Turned out really well, and it shows up well on the T-shirt.
Yes, it does. It looks lovely. And this is opening on Thursday night.
Friday night.
Friday night. Oh, I was thinking Thursday
That's
night.
okay. Sometimes we do open on Thursday nights.
Right.
But this one
We're trying to get away from that.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, because of the stuff going on at school, it becomes it can be an issue too, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to run. So where do you want to start? Do you want to just put out the dates? In fact, we've got the play coming up. If you have not been to one of our local productions, you just don't know what you're missing. It is fabulous. Y'all do such a wonderful job.
Well, thank you.
We have got such a wonderful community theater.
I agree.
And how many years has it been around?
1978.
That's crazy. That is awesome.
Almost 50 years.
Yeah. Wow.
45.
Wow.
Now you think about that. That's a long time. We're one of the oldest community theaters in Middle Tennessee, for sure.
Well, you need to start planning now for your big 50-year celebration because that's going to be a big deal.
It will be.
Yeah, and it'll be here before you in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, talk to them about the dates of the play and the times.
I'll tell you what. I'll give the technical stuff, and then we'll let Bridget talk about the plot and Shakespeare and all the intricacies of the play. How's that sound?
That sounds wonderful. And I got a comment on her Bob Ross shirt. That's just wonderful.
Yeah.
Isn't it Bob Ross? Or
it is.
Yeah, Bob Ross. I was trying to remember the guy's name. I mean, we all remember the pretty trees, the pretty little trees and all that. He was just wonderful. But I just love the shirt. It was perfect. Okay, so where do you want to start? Go for it.
Midsummer Night's Dream opens this coming Friday night. That is September the 8th. And then that's at 7:00 p.m. Of course, it's going to be at the Innovation Academy Auditorium, which was the former Springfield Middle School, which was the former Springfield High School, but is now Innovation Academy, which is a magnet school, and we're excited about that. And it's going to be in the auditorium, which is, it's been newly refurbished about 4 years ago. They spent about $3 million on updating the sound equipment, lighting equipment, seating, everything. It's just a really gorgeous place to watch a show. And then we'll be back again on Saturday night, again at 7:00. And then we'll have a Sunday matinee on the 10th, which will be at 2:00. And then we come back again the next weekend, and that will be Friday and Saturday again at 7:00 p.m. and then a 2 p.m. Matinee on the 17th, and that'll round out the show. Tickets can be bought at various places in Springfield, Historic Perk, I believe.
White's Jewelers.
Yeah, White's Jewelers, Holman Jewelers, And
That's it.
I think that's it. I think that's all we've got.
We did
and
have
you can
Main
bu-
Street Boutique, but
right, and
just
you can
recently.
buy them online at our website www.robertsoncountyplayers.org. You can buy them online, or you can buy them at the door. Now, if you buy them in advance, you get a savings. But if you buy them at the door, they're going to cost you a little bit more. But
Okay.
anyway,
And you do have discounted tickets for teachers and veterans and military.
certainly do.
You know, since I'm a teacher,
Yes.
talk to me about that. Just so if you're a
Well, I
school
tell you
teacher,
what,
If you're a
here's
teacher,
so,
2 free tickets for you and Mark.
thank you, darling.
And then we got a pair of tickets to give away to your radio listeners over the air, or whenever you
Will
decide to do that.
Well, and if you comment, I'm having internet issues with this computer, and so what I'll do is, if you comment that you want the tickets, if you're the first one, I can tell from the timestamps who's the first one to
Sure.
or if you private message me,
Yeah.
first one that private message me or puts me up a comment, I will get you these tickets. But thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome.
And I love coming to the play. It's one of those things. Sometimes I appreciate y'all reaching out and keeping me updated, because sometimes y'all have a play and next thing I know, it's happened and it's passed.
Well,
And so I appreciate y'all staying. He's good about knocking on my door.
well,
I appreciate you very
well,
much.
no, it's a mutual society that
Well,
we like each other so much,
yeah.
and we appreciate that because
We're
you,
fans of each other.
LaVern supports all the good things that goes on in Robertson County.
Well,
That's
and,
good.
and just thank y'all for helping me stay up to date, because I am a school teacher and it's been kind of busy. But so what do you do? You're a director. So what else do you do? I'm always curious to find out about people's backstories.
Well-
so what do you do for a living?
Well, I work for the state of Tennessee.
Okay, cool.
I'm a legal assistant with the administrative appeals judges that hear all the 10 care hearings. So I'm quite busy.
You don't know Ginger Rogers, do you? She's your
Just the
auditing
dancer.
director. No, she's your auditing director. She's one of my best friends.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Well,
so I just
we hope to not see an auditor, but
Well,
no.
there you go. So, but anyway, as soon as you mentioned 10 care, I had to mention Jim. But
wonderful.
but yeah. Well, that's very cool. I always like hearing people's backstory. So, how in the world did you get into directing a play? What happened there? How did that come about?
I've been on the stage since I was 5 years old. So eventually, when I got to college, I started out as a biology major, but then I quickly switched because of the math requirements. I'm not great at math, and so I switched to theater.
Okay.
I've always loved it. I always knew I wanted to do theater.
Well, talk to me about. Okay, I am one of these people. I've heard of this play forever. Never read it. Never seen it.
All right.
I'm serious. I mean, there's a lot of us out there.
There's
We're like,
a lot of us
Midsummer's
that
Night's
are
Dream.
you
I
out
know all
there.
about Midsummer Night's Dream. No, I don't. I can admit it. I can admit it. It's one I've always known about.
There have been
because
lots of
it's one
films.
Yeah, but I've never watched anything. Never seen it. Never read it. So, what is this about?
Well, it's one of his most famous comedies. It's about Shakespeare usually always has subplots. The main plot is about four young lovers who are in love with each other, obviously. A lady and a man and another lady and man, but the father of one of the ladies does not like the one that the lady has chosen. So they go off into the woods to do their own things. And meanwhile, the subplot comes out, and that's a band of fairies with the king and queen of the fairies who like to play tricks on humans. And so they make two of them mistakenly fall in love with the same lady, and just hilarity ensues.
Okay. Well,
And one of the fairy queen falls in love with a
local, like a community theater actor in the show. There's a group of community theater actors that are tradesmen. They want to do a play for the Duke's upcoming wedding. So what the main trickster fairy, who's named Puck, most people would recognize that name. They have Oberon has Puck play. What is it? I'm losing.
Anyway, there's
He puts a donkey head on one of the actors and makes Titania fall in love with the first thing that she sees upon waking, which is
The one with the donkey head.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Okay.
one that's been transformed into a donkey, and she is very much in love with him.
Oh, fun. I mean,
strange.
this sounds,
It's crazy,
And
but
again,
it's funny.
it's
Yeah.
one of those things that, it's one of the classics, and I've heard about it. I was never made to read it in high school. And that's where a lot of people have their first exposure to Midsummer Night's Dream, is it would be something you would read literary, a piece of literature you would have to read.
Correct.
I grew up in West Kentucky, honey. They didn't make us read it. We had to read Solace Marner, I mean, it's like, so I've never had, but it's one of those, it's always been a curiosity for me. I'm like, I hear all about that. I just don't know anything about it. It's one of the classics I've never, looked into.
I think one of the cool things about Shakespeare is, he, over 500 years ago when he wrote this show, it still resonates today. It's still very fresh. I mean, even though it's got all kinds of different subplots and different things like that, it's
Themes are still relevant. For sure.
still relevant to what goes on today. Human nature doesn't change that much in 500 years,
Yeah.
believe it or not. You know that.
Yeah.
And one of the good things about our show is we've got some really good actors in it. I mean, some
We've
of the
got
best ones
amazing
that we've
actors
got.
in this area.
And it's a veteran cast. We got a few new ones. Got some young people that are involved in it. But it's going to be a good show. It's a really
Some
good
names
show.
out there. Who have we got in this one that we might recognize?
Oh, let's see. Well, let's see. There's Philip Hart. He's the manager at Sherwin-Williams here in Springfield.
Okay.
Donnie King, who is,
Oh, yes.
you know about Donnie
Yeah.
through
Yeah.
his
With
work
10
with kids,
kids.
10 kids. That's two of the good guys. Gary Noel, who actually ends up with the donkey head. He's in it. And then we've got
Kate
Kate Logston, Kate Pearson, a young lady that I know fairly well, Nelda Atchley. She's the one that falls in love with the donkey, by the way.
Oh, my.
She plays the Queen of the Fairies.
Fun.
So-
Is it a musical? It's not a musical, is it?
It has music within it, but it's not a musical.
No.
Okay. I couldn't remember. I mean, and again, I know a little bit about it, but, I can admit, it's just not one I've ever really looked into.
And one of the cool things about Shakespeare, in fact, near all of the productions that were performed when he was alive, everybody on stage was male. The male played the female parts as well. I mean, there weren't hardly any women that were involved in the early years
was
of the
illegal.
productions. So,
Yeah.
which
Isn't
I
that
find
crazy?
which I find interesting.
Yeah, that is fascinating. And I was kind of wondering about that as I was sitting here thinking about the time period. I thought, well, that's back when, but I mean, and people don't realize that, I read historical fiction, and I was reading one where one of the characters was a woman that was an actor, and it was still kind of scandalous, to be an actress. Oh, yeah. Let's pause and let's take a break.
Yeah.
And we're talking about all things Midsummer Night's Dream. And if you're like me and you're like, oh yeah, I know about it, and you didn't, well, now you do. And and it sounds wonderful. I love Shakespeare. I love classics. I love theater. I really do. And I just haven't had the opportunity to be exposed to it as much as I would like. We've got an incredible theater company here.
You ever thought
Incredible
about
theater.
trotting the boards yourself, LaVern? I mean, with that
yes,
voice
but-
of yours?
Yes, but I do not have time.
I know you
don't have time. What I would love it. I would
Well.
absolutely love to be involved in one of the plays. Stan Stanley, I've joked around because I sing and do different things, and he's like, "Well, you need to come," and I'm like, "I would love to. I just don't have an extra minute in the day right now." After I kind of settle in and get all my education stuff done, and Stan's doing so, he's having to go to school and all that because he's teaching.
Yeah.
But if I can kind of get past the education and get where I'm about 3 years into teaching, I think I might be able to kind of go, oh, maybe I'll try it for my friend.
We've got people that try out, audition, and kind of fall in love with it.
Oh,
and
I
just
don't have
keep
any
on
doubt I would
doing it,
fall in
doing
love
it,
with
doing
it.
it. My
Yeah.
wife, for instance, Nelda,
Yeah.
she started out working behind the scenes, and now she's one of the best actresses we got.
Isn't that wonderful? And my friend Muriel Barnett, she needs to try out because she tried out for, the dollar. What's the movie? I mean, the one that y'all did that was
Steel Magnolias?
Yeah, Steel Magnolias.
Steel Magnolias,
I couldn't think of the name. She came and she got a call back. She got to the last run, but she is a retired teacher and she would like to do some stuff.
Yeah.
And so I think you'll see Muriel. She's like, LaVern, no, No, yeah. I can come do something together, maybe.
There you
That'd
go.
be so much fun.
That would be
We
fun.
would have a blast. All right, we're going to talk about Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center. Happy birthday, Amy. Amy's birthday was on Saturday. Amy Corbin.
Happy birthday, Amy.
Yeah, I got to go out there and see her for a few minutes, and she was running, and I mean, she's always so
is.
busy. She's one of the busiest people I know, and one of the sweetest people I know too. And so go by and still tell her happy birthday. It was her big birthday weekend, and just so many beautiful things out there. They've got their annuals at 50% off. They're selling mums now. The mums haven't really. They're starting to bud and open up, and they've got. I think she told me 5 different colors of mums, but they got just a beautiful supply of mums. They've got everything you need to make your home beautiful. I was teasing her. I said, so when are you going to start booking people for Christmas decorations? She goes, we're already booked.
Yeah.
So if you want to try to get in and let her and Steph do your Christmas decorations, you better call them, because that's one of those things that stays booked up like crazy. They're so busy. There's so much going on.
Yeah.
If you got your plants from Corbin, your garden's still producing. It's just all there is to it. And I went in and bought a couple of new pot holders from Miss Jane. I've gotten rid of all my other pot holders. I got a couple of those last year. They're the best ones ever. Miss Jane makes them. She's got all kinds of little handcrafted items in there. You can, of course, stock up on all your CBD products that you need that help with the salves, from pain salves that helps with bug bites to pain to the CBD oils that I swear by. All the things that you need, and it's local CBD. If you're curious about CBD products, then you need to go talk to them, because they know their stuff is produced from the plants her brother Bill grows, and they make those salves right there in the house. It's the coolest stuff. You're going to love talking to the Corbins. You get by there today. Be sure and tell Amy happy birthday, of course. Oh, and their hours. They're still 9 to 5, Monday through Saturday, Sunday 1 to 4, and you can call them at 615-384-3185, 615-384-3185. Always let them know that U-Turn sent you. Oh, one thing too, I was talking to her about, Farmers Market did finish up last week, but we're going to have 2 fall markets. There are going to be 2 fall farmers markets, because they're getting ready for the fair and all those things right now. So, but the farmers market is not over. It's just paused in September, and the summer session of the farmers market's over, and then they're going to have 2 fall dates. So get ready for that.
Still at the fairgrounds?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And they'll always be a part of that. So what are we missing here? Anything that you, what's the next play? What have we got on deck? Because you need, people to start wanting to try out.
Right. The next auditions will be in December for a play called The Play That Goes Wrong.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
It's hilarious. Yeah.
I think so.
And
See,
I
I
think-
like comedy. I love comedy. I love it. And so if it's going to make me laugh, I'm in.
Oh, it's
I think
hilarious.
it'll be fun. How big is your cast going to be for that production?
That's a pretty big cast. I'm not sure exactly how many parts there are, but Joseph Nicholson is directing that one.
So what's your cast size for this play?
We have 23.
Yeah.
I would think you would have a lot of extras and things like that, would you not?
We have a lot of extra fairies for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. We do have our share of fairies. Little
Okay.
fairies, mid-sized fairies.
They got to
and
be
big
so cute.
fairies.
I mean, you probably got some little kids dressed up that are having fun, that are there with parents and grandparents and all those things. Would that be?
We hosted a fairy camp this summer, and
Aw.
we had several kids come out for a week, and we learned how to be a fairy, and several of those children are in our production that could be there. So
That's wonderful. I love that. Well, they did like a zombie camp last year. They were getting ready for the big zombie play. So
Yeah,
that they
I was
did
in that one too.
October. Oh, okay. Very good. Very good. Yeah. Well, and it's just, if you've not been to one of our plays, if you've not been to, when I was talking to Amy the other day at Corbin, she had something like 3 families from California that were brand new that came in, and we're just talking about the neighborhood. We've got so many new folks, guys,
Yeah.
that
come in all the time.
if you've stumbled across this show and you're wondering what's going on in Robertson County, find out about Robertson County Players. And they do, how many average productions do you do per year, would you say?
Past couple of years, we've been doing averaging about 4.
Because pre-COVID, were you doing more than that pre-COVID? It's always about 4?
You kind of figure with a theater production, it takes at least 2 months from the time you cast to the time you start putting on the show. So you factor that in. It's hard to do any more shows than that. Not only that, we do all our performances are usually in a school auditorium.
Yeah.
Mostly the Innovation Academy auditorium. Sometimes we go out to Springfield High School. But with schools these days, they're busy. They've got stuff going on all the time, especially in high schools and the Innovation Academy. So it's scheduling is the biggest issue that we have right now as far as being able to put our shows on. But
If we had our own venue,
Yeah.
it would make it
Yeah.
a lot easier, and we could probably do more.
Yeah. Well, now you did the Miss Lena.
yeah, and
y'all gonna revisit that?
Actually, and of course that was under the Robertson County
Right.
Historical Society, but because of a situation that's come up, we're going to be able to, the players and Historical Society are going to join forces in February as part of Black History Month, and the players are going to accept that show as one of their own, and the season ticket holders will be able to come see an evening with Miss Lena and Mr. Patterson
beautiful.
in February, and we're excited about it. I'm adding a little bit to it since I wrote the show, and maybe expand the cast a little bit and make it just a little bit. I thought it was very good the first time around, but I think the second time around it's going to be even better. So
I'm
we're
excited about that. I was just we helped. We did some little videos and things promoting that, and
Yeah.
we'll get involved with you on that again.
Yeah, it's a great story about two iconic African American educators who meant so much to Robertson County. I mean,
When I went to this training in Knoxville,
Mm-hmm.
we were talking about things that you could do, and I showed them the videos we did about Miss Lena and Mr. Patterson, and I told them about it, and they were just like, they loved it. They loved it, and I said, "Dad, these are icons in our area," and they were real impressed. So, I'll tell you, we were talking about you.
well, I'm glad. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. But
Well, it's the whole thing about even Miss Lane and Mr. Patterson is, you take these people that you've heard about, and then you start peeling away the layers of time, and then you realize how relevant they still are, how important they still are, especially to education.
yeah.
Education is, it's hugely important in our community.
Yes, it is.
And I salute you for being an educator.
I'm so thrilled to be, and I just loved. We had an old beat up piano in our auditorium, and I had little Mackenzie sit down in front of it and do the dialogue for Miss Lena, because we were talking about even in her 90s before she passed, she was teaching piano.
Yeah.
She was a teacher. She was still teaching piano, and that was one of the lines in our little story we did on her.
Oh, that's cool.
But anyway, having a good conversation, Labor Day, and if you're just waking up, this will be archived. You can see it anytime, of course, and we'll keep the stream out there. But we appreciate you joining us live here on 1100 WSGI. It is A Midsummer's Night's Dream. It is going to be wonderful. So if you're like me and you've heard of the play forever and you've never looked at it, you've never really delved into it, here's your chance. And this is a beautiful chance, and it will be absolutely wonderful. I can't wait to go. We're going to continue talking with them. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll come back. Let me do a break real quick, and we'll come back, and we'll continue to recap the play. A Midsummer Night's Dream is coming up starting Friday night. You can go this weekend, and then next week we'll talk about the dates. We'll continue talking with my friend Danny Atchley and Bridget Dean, our directors. I see that Rusty's helping with this one too.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
So absolutely. Well, we'll talk more about that. Let me go ahead and do our last break.
Go ahead.
Talking about Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Accessibility Garden Gate team. Here's what you need to do. Did you know Barry's got an office down on the square now? Exit Realty has a downtown office. He is the broker here in Springfield. And Rebecca is still the one out in White House. If you want to be part of a great team, if you're looking into real estate, something you just maybe want to do on the side, maybe you're wanting to change careers. Barry and Rebecca both came out of other careers and got into real estate. So they would be great to mentor you and to explain all the things to you. I was checking their listings out the other day. Man, they've got some acreage that they've got listed. They've got some houses up in Greenbrier that they have listed, which I love, because if you come to Greenbrier, then I can teach kids. But they've just got some beautiful listings that you need to go check out. And they're just great friends of the community. I was on the phone with Barry the other day, and he's going to come out to the school on Thursday and help me with some stuff. He's just that kind of guy. And so is Rebecca. You'll find them sponsoring all kinds of things around the community. They're in Cross Plains. They've been there for about 27 plus years, and just great friends. They specialize in Robertson County properties, but also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky. You can give Rebecca a call at 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425. Or just pop in on Barry down at the office at Exit Realty and go and see him at the new offices down here in Springfield, or connect with him at sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or by BUYRobertsonCounty.com. Always let them know that U-Turn sent you. Okay, getting back into it now. So you and Rusty are directing this together.
Yes.
And so how many have you directed? Is this a new thing for you?
I've directed in the past, not with Robertson County players.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty new to the players.
Okay. Are you new to this area?
I am pretty new.
Well, welcome.
I moved here in 2017.
Well, there you go. Well, we're glad to have you. Well, where have you, what productions, what companies have you worked with?
Well, in Florida, I worked with the Maltz Jupiter Theater. I did mostly stagehand things, but that's a local professional regional theater. I was in a touring company in California called the California Theater Center, and that was a professional touring company up and down the West Coast with musical theater, specifically geared towards children, to bring arts to places where they didn't have theater programs. We'd go in and bring shows. We'd go in and teach theater classes. So I'm also a teacher. But I had a lot of fun touring. It's tiring, but I love it. But yeah, I directed some shows throughout my entire time.
How fun.
I might add, she's a very good actress. She played the Queen in Once Upon a Mattress.
Yeah.
Okay.
And was outstanding, really. I mean,
Thank you.
Well, now tell me this. How did you find Robertson County Players when you got here? Did you go looking for the community theater since
No.
you have the background? I'm curious.
I didn't go looking for it, to be honest. I directed a show at our church. We go to Springfield Baptist, and I let the music director know that my strengths in theater and musical theater and things like that. And so we went over a play that he had written a long time ago. I updated it, added some parts to it, and we produced that. Mm-hmm. Danny was in that.
Yeah.
So it was a big production. We called it Everything Will Change.
Yeah.
And it's just like a passion play.
Did you do it in the church?
we did it in the
did.
church.
Wonderful.
And
It was about 3 years ago, 3.5, maybe 4 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It was a big production. And Springfield Baptist, traditionally, we don't do one every year, but every few years we'll do a big passion play or drama.
Oh, please.
Usually
keep me
around
up to
Easter.
date on that.
Oh,
yes.
we will.
Yes, yes.
I was real proud to be a part of it, and Bridget did a great job putting it all.
It was a very nice play. So Stan Stanley came to see it and then said, "Hey, why don't you come out and audition for RCP?"
course.
So the next year when I had more time, I was able to do. Or then that was COVID, and then
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So the famous Stan Stanley. We
Yeah.
love him. He's wonderful.
So my first play with them was Secret Garden, which
That is
Stan
awesome.
Stanley directed.
Secret Garden. Oh, that was incredible. What were you in?
I was Mrs. Medlock.
Oh, wow.
The
yeah.
angry maid, whatever.
Okay. Yes, I remember you in
Yeah.
that. I loved that play. I just thought that was just beautiful.
It was a lot of fun.
Oh, it was so beautiful. But talking about all things Robertson County Players, and we want you to be a part of the play. So let's just recap in the last couple of minutes when the shows are, and just invite everybody out. And if you want to put up something in comments or private message me, I do have a set of tickets to give away. First person that messages me, you'll get the tickets. So recap it for us, guys.
Open September the 8th. That's this coming Friday night. And then we'll be open again on the 9th, which is Saturday night. Both performances at 7 o'clock at the Innovation Academy Auditorium. Like I said, you can buy your tickets at the door, or you can go online, www.robertsoncountyplayers.org, or you can go to White's Jewelers, you can go to Holman's Jewelers, or you can go to
Historic Perk.
Very good. And then we'll have a matinee. That's Sunday. That's the 10th at 2 p.m. Then we come back again the next weekend, September the 10th.
15th.
15th, 16th, and 17th. 15th, 16th at 7 p.m. and the 17th at 2 p.m., and that'll round up the show.
Awesome.
And if you're an Innovation Academy student, you'll see us on September 14th when we do our school
Daytime.
performance.
That's why I was going to ask you, because a lot of the times you'll do a school performance. And so what
Yep.
day is that on again?
September 14th.
September 14th. So the kids will get to see, will they see the entire thing or will it be abbreviated?
I think they're going to see
The
pretty
whole
close
thing.
to the whole
Okay,
thing.
how long is it? That's always one.
About 2.5. Thereabouts.
That's long. It's
It's
5 acts.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
So-
what I thought. So you'll have an intermission, or
We will have one intermission.
okay, so it's about a 2.5 hour play, because I had heard it was pretty long, but if it's fun and if it's lively and all that, it'll keep the kids' attention.
Oh yeah.
So very good. Talking with Bridget Dean, my new friend, met from new. I love hearing people's backstories, and so and how did you move here for jobs or something like that?
Well, when my contract ended at the company in California, but I had met my husband online.
Okay.
And he lived here, so
Fun.
I moved here to.
Oh, there's so much more to hear about you.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
There's
that's
lots more.
cool. That's so cool. So that's very neat. I love that. I love that. That's well, you'll have to just come in and just tell me all about yourself.
Sure, why not?
I love it. Danny Atchley and Bridget Dean here for A Midsummer Night's Dream. It's going to be wonderful starting on Friday. We want you to be a part of it. So thank you for coming in on Labor Day.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, I just appreciate we were able to work it out, because now I am going to be out tomorrow and Wednesday. Most people know my mom's been fighting cancer, and we have her surgery. She's doing great though, but her surgery is tomorrow, so I'm going to be out for a couple of days. I got substitute teachers and all that covering for me, and then Lee Marie and different ones are going to be filling in for the next couple of days. And we appreciate you
Good.
keeping
Well,
the
good luck
show
on your
going.
mom.
But I appreciate it, and she's going to do
really.
great. She's going to do great. But I've got a guest on Thursday morning. Jordan's coming in. Jordan Osborne. We're going to talk about
The
experience-
chamber.
Yes, well, we're experiencing Robertson County's coming up.
Yep.
So we got, and it's different. So she's going to come in, and we're going to talk about that. So it's going to be a lot of
Well,
fun.
good deal.
And we'll have United Way that back in as well on Thursday. So that's what we've got coming up here on One Street Over. Appreciate you being a part of it. Happy Labor Day. Rest and get ready to just take on the fall, because it's going to be an awesome one. Go see the play. We'll keep talking about it. Midsummer Night's Dream. We love Robertson County players. Love you guys. Thank you for being here. This is 1100 WSGI. God bless.